All right, guys, Jerobi Tech here. And I want to take a look at and compare the Pixel 5a 5G and the Galaxy A53. I just had done a Galaxy A53 review, and I wasn't a big fan of this phone, which is no secret. I made that pretty abundantly clear in the videos. But when I look at these two phones, I was thinking in my head, they're so close in price right now, it almost makes no sense to get the A53. There's too many other good phones like the Pixel 5a 5G that just, in my opinion, destroy the A53. Now, if you're looking at the A53 from a price point of about $200 or $250, solid phone. If Samsung could have came in the $200 range, solid phone. I really wouldn't have as many complaints for it. But coming at $450, I got the Pixel 5a 5G for around $400 brand new. Yeah, I'm gonna go Pixel 5a 5G all day. So let's compare these two really quick and talk about some of the specs and get those out of the way. Obviously the Pixel 5a 5G has been out for a little bit now, but if we're looking at just basically running down the specs, we have a 6.3 inch screen on this, so a little bit bigger than the Pixel 4a 5G. The names are getting so confusing in my head now. It does have an OLED screen, which is nice. It is only 60 hertz, which is a bummer, but with Pixel's, vanilla Android, it is super smooth. It almost doesn't matter that it's not a higher refresh rate. We have the Snapdragon 765. We have the 6 gigabytes of RAM, the Adreno 620, 128 gigabytes of storage, Android 12, of course, a 4,680 milliamp hour battery. Pretty solid specs. And I got to tell you guys, I love the Snapdragon 765. I think it is an awesome processor. Every phone I've had with this processor has been fantastic. Close to flagship levels of just speed and opening and closing things. Maybe not for gaming and stuff like that, but just using the phone if you're not into games, I mean, it is just really, really good. On the back, you are getting a 12.2 megapixel camera with phase detection autofocus, and it is an aperture of f1.7, and you're getting a 16 megapixel ultra wide camera on it. So very nice to see. Wish there was a telephoto, but hey, it's a more mid-range budget phone, so it is what it is. And it has 4K video recording and an 8 megapixel camera on the front, which is limited. The front camera is limited to 1080p. Just keep that in mind. And I'll show you guys that. If we jump to the front. Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't really. So we'll leave it at that for the Pixel 5a 5G. I went off on a rant trying to show you guys something and I couldn't figure out what I was trying to do, so I'm gonna cut that out. But for the Pixel. Wow, my brain right now, dear Lord, it is just gone. For the Samsung Galaxy A53 5G, running down the specs, you're getting a 6.5 inch screen, Super AMOLED. It is 120 hertz, which is on paper better than the 60 hertz on the Pixel, but not what I'm noticing. And you are also getting the Exynos 1280, 6 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage. Android 12, which is again nice to see, 5,000 milliamp hour battery, a little bit bigger, and also has fast charging. And the cameras on the back, you're getting a 64 megapixel main camera, f1.8. You are getting a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel macro, which is fixed focus, unfortunately, and a 5 megapixel depth camera. And the 64 megapixel camera does have optical image stabilization, which is very nice. You're getting a 32 megapixel front facing camera, also nice to see, high res, which doesn't always mean good pictures, but hey, it is 32 megapixels, and it does record in 4K which is nice to see because, again, the Moto G Stylus 5G 2022 did not record in 4K, which was a bummer. So now that we got all that out of the way, just looking at both the phones, they're both plastic. So high quality build, not really, but I don't mind plastic personally. As you guys know, I've said this in other videos, I really just don't mind it. It doesn't bother me. I usually put a case on my phone, so fingerprint magnets, yes. I would say the A53 a little bit more than the Pixel 5a 5G, as you can see. Tough to call there on fingerprints. I mean, if you're more careful with it than I was and you wipe it more often, or if you put a case on it, won't be a big deal, but they both can pick up fingerprints, but I just happen to notice them more on the A53. Just keep that in mind. I think that the Pixel just feels a bit more premium, but I mean, they're both good. I should say they're good enough. Obviously, they could be better, but when we're looking at the screens, both, Super AMOLED on the Samsung, the OLED over here, I mean, they're both really nice. What I could do is actually put the exact same wallpaper on both so you guys can get a proper comparison of the screens. So let me put this on here. Give me 1 second. Setting it. Okay, boom. So Pixel zooms in a little bit, which I really, really don't like because that's what the full wallpaper looks like. Samsung does not zoom in. I don't know why that is. And if anyone knows how to change that, please let me know, because otherwise I always have to end up downloading a separate app to, fully fit the wallpaper on the screen. And Motorola does this too. I don't know. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, so they're both very nice screens, both very vibrant. Let's make sure that we get the brightness up. Boom. To my eyes, yeah, I'd probably pick the Samsung screen over the Pixel, but not by much. They're both very nice. Both nice screens. Now, as far as fluidity, this is where the Pixel wins hands down. It just is the more fluid phone. If you would like to see, go to my Samsung A53 review. I just don't think it's a very fast phone. I think it stutters and has jutters and it freezes, and I don't know. There's just so many issues I've had with this phone. The Pixel I've had no issues with. Super, super smooth. It's just, this 60 hertz screen looks more fluid than this 120 hertz screen. So just keep that in mind. I don't know why, just scrolling and opening and closing things, I'm going Pixel all day. When it comes to battery life, about even for me. I mean, I know the Samsung has a bigger battery, but I'm not noticing more battery life. I'd say they're both great, though. You're not going to go wrong with battery on either. It's easily going to last you through the day, and then some. So I'd say both are over the 6-hour mark of screen on time. Both are very good with their batteries. The Pixel is very, very impressive, even though it has a smaller battery. If we're talking about the speakers, let's go ahead and pull up. Let's see if I can do this. Go to Jerobi Tech. Actually, here. Let's try to pull these up at the same time so you guys can get a little idea of speeds. Oh wow. Go Samsung. It actually pulled it up faster, even though this phone feels horrendously slow. It's so surprising to me. All right, now let's go over to my channel. Let's check out the video. All right, so here is the A53. And here's the Pixel. Sorry. guys, it's really close with the speakers. They both have dual speakers. Oh, it's really close. All right, hold on, let's go back and forth. Well, the Pixel is definitely louder, but is it better? I don't know. They're very, very close. Pixel's a little bit louder, but the Samsung sounds really good. Also, it's going to be a tie for me. They both sound very, very good, and they both have the dual speakers, one on the front and one on the bottom, which is very, very nice to see. When we're looking at the cameras, tough call. I mean, if we go to the Pixel takes better overall photos just across the board. But, you know, there's perks on the Samsung. You get the macro mode, and I think, you know, you get some pretty decent zooming on the Samsung, up to 10 times. We only get 7 times on the Pixel. And we'll open up the cameras on both. You know, you do get the 64 megapixel mode on the Samsung, which is nice. Get a little more detail. Again, it's not the best 64 megapixel mode, but you know, it is there. If we go into here, you can switch over to 64 megapixels. You know, I can take a shot with the Pixel. Again, I'm going Pixel all day as the better camera, but there are some cool features, you know, that you get with the Samsung that is nice to have. You know, you get a pro camera mode, pro video mode. You know, Samsung's going to throw a lot at you, and again, having at least the option of a macro mode is nice. The Pixel's not too terrible though when it comes to macro photography. I learned, like, I took this with the Pixel. That's pretty dang good. You know, I just zoomed in a little bit digitally, and you know, with the software that Pixel's bringing, it's pretty good. And then, you know, you obviously do get the night mode with the astrophotography, and wow, that is not the way to look at it. Hold up, let me pull it up on Google, because that was like pixelating it really bad. So we'll pull it up on here on Google Photos. Very, very cool. I took that in my backyard on a tripod. So I think having that mode is awesome. I love astrophotography. You can try astrophotography on the A53. I've tried it on the A52. It's not very good, but you know, you can do it with the pro video. The pro photo mode. You can go out there, put it on a tripod, and you know, try to take pictures, but it's going to be nowhere near as good as the Pixel is. You know, and again, the Samsung just struggles. Like, it blows out colors. This is not what this flower looked like. Extremely, extremely blown out, which is unfortunate. You know, and again, it just sometimes takes kind of a blurry photo. It even with the optical image stabilization, I've noticed some issues. But you know, like I said, landscape shots, also, you know, it can take a good picture, as you guys can see right there. That's a pretty detailed 64 megapixel photo. Wow, is that a mouthful? And then if we're looking at, you know, some landscape shots, pretty good. Nice colors, vibrant, very typical Samsung. Where, you know, the Pixel though, I mean, I zoomed in and got that shot. So even though it doesn't have a macro mode, like, holy crap, that's pretty freaking good. So it may not have as many cameras, but I think the Pixel makes up for it in software. So guys, I will throw up some photo samples and video samples for you guys to look at right now.
This is a video test with the Google Pixel 5a. This is a video test with the A53.
All right, guys, as you can see, both take very good pictures, but I'm giving the win to the Pixel. I think the video looks better. I think the photos look better. But on the Samsung, if we go to the front, you can shoot all the way up to 4K, which is very, very nice to see. So there are some wins for the Samsung. It's just overall, I would say obviously the Pixel is better. The Pixel's taken like flagship level photos, where the Samsung is coming in close, but not quite as good. Definitely can tell that this is more budget mid-range, where this one is just punching way above its weight class. Very, 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 very good, which again is typical for Pixel. Guys, if it was my money, what would I choose? Well, I wouldn't choose the A53. This phone I don't think is worth it at $450. I don't think it's worth it at $400. I don't think it's worth it in the $300 range. I think this is a $200-something phone. I think $250 is fair. If you can get this phone for $250, it is not bad. That's a pretty good deal for this phone. For how stuttery it is, I would fully accept it at $250. Now, for the Pixel, I think it is worth every penny. I think this is totally worth $400. I think this is worth $500 in my opinion. It just is like a really, really solid phone. I can't recommend this phone enough. Well done, Google. I think this thing is great. I think these are selling extraordinarily well. And the new Pixel 6 series is great too, but I love having an actual fingerprint scanner on the back. And to talk about that one last thing, let's look at the fingerprint scanners. So on the Pixel, not the fastest, but extremely reliable. Where, let's actually, can I even, it's hard to find. Yeah, the A53 has gotten much better than the A52 with the fingerprint scanner, so I will give it that. But here, let's turn both screens on. And hold on, sorry, I completely missed the fingerprint scanner on the Pixel because I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, so it is faster when the screens are on the Pixel, but I would say fingerprint scanners are good on both. I wouldn't take one over the other because, again, the A53 has improved the fingerprint scanner from the A52, so I am happy with Samsung doing that. So again, if we're going to wrap things up, Samsung is going to win in screen quality. I think the Super AMOLED looks awesome on it. Very, very nice screen quality-wise. The blacks are good. The colors pop. Typical Samsung. The Samsung is going to win on, I would say, battery slightly, but not by much. I'll throw it in there because I think you can probably eke out a little bit better battery life with this, but not by much. The Samsung, I would say, wins with lightness. It is a very, very light phone, but the Pixel is also very light. So again, not by much. And again, that might not even be a win. To me, it's a win. I like light phones, but you might not. And the Samsung, I don't know. I guess I really can't give it too many other wins. Multiple cameras, versatility, a pro mode on the video camera. Oh, and the 4K video recording on the front is nice on the Samsung because the Pixel doesn't have that. Now for the Pixel, this one wins in software, processor. This one wins in camera. This one wins in video camera, and I'm talking on the rear. The Pixel wins on what else? I guess overall feel. I think it feels nicer. To me, it feels more premium than the A53 does. That's just my opinion. I think it feels more premium. It feels really, really nice. Oh, you can also do the scroll down with the fingerprint scanner, which is really cool. I would also say the Pixel does have a charger in the box, which is nice. The A53 does not. So keep that in mind also. So guys, if it was my money, I would go with the Pixel. If I haven't made that abundantly clear, I almost never recommend the A53 because it just isn't very good to me. I say go Pixel if you can find this for a good price. It is an awesome phone. I say go A53 if you can get it for in the $200 price range, which this phone will be coming down more in price. It already has come down in price, I think, to $350. It'll go down to $300 and then $250, and I'm sure carriers will have it at really cheap, awesome prices, or maybe even free. For free, this phone's great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not saying it's like utter trash. It's just not as good in my opinion as the Pixel is for a cheaper price, because you can find this price for on eBay for pretty reasonable. So that's my comparison, guys. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. If you want to know what I think, go Pixel. If you can get the A53 for cheaper, then cool. Get the A53 for around $200. Then I think it's worth it. Again, if you have any comments, leave them below. Any questions, any other reviews you'd like to see, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.